Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Front Page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. And finally, on Front Page tonight, on 19th of September, Karnataka's Chief Minister Siddaramaiah wrote an unusual letter to Azim Premji, founder, chairman of Wipro. He asked the company to allow limited vehicular movement through its Sarjapur campus with security safeguards and mutually agreed terms. The reason? Outer Ring Road, ORR, gridlock near Iblur Junction is now so severe that, according to government traffic studies, a controlled right of way through the Wipro campus could cut congestion on adjoining stretches by nearly 30% during peak hours. Well, to grasp the urgency, step back from the daily jam and look at the numbers. Keapuram Metro to Silk Board, just 19 kilometers. 500 plus IT companies, from the largest global tech giants to India's own unicorns. 9.5 lakh high paying jobs directly anchored here. 1.5 lakh crore rupees, approximately $18 billion in annual IT exports. That works out to roughly $1 billion of foreign exchange earned, wait for it, every single kilometer, every year. No other 15 to 20 kilometer road in India carries such a direct link to national GDP. So when traffic here stalls, a measurable chunk of India's tech services engine stalls with it, affecting client deliveries from New York to Tokyo. Peak hour traffic routinely turns the ORR into a very slow moving parking lot, and we've all experienced it. A stretch that should take 25 minutes can drag to 90 minutes and also drag with it a part of your life. Potholes, monsoon flooding, and uneven road maintenance compound the gridlock. Productivity losses are no longer anecdotal. Tech firms report missed client calls, disrupted shift changes, and rising attrition as employees endure 2-hour one-way commutes. Let's not even talk about the mental trauma. Siddaramaiah's letter calls Wipro's cooperation a short-term tactical fix. A limited access corridor through Wipro Sarjapur campus, policed for security, to divert a slice of ORR peak hour traffic, cutting load on the critical Iblur-Belandur choke point by an estimated 30%. He frames it as a civic partnership, a quick, locally controlled step that can ease commuter pain while bigger infrastructure catches up. But the chief minister himself admits that the private campus detours are not a long-term solution. Bengaluru's ORR has become the single densest IT corridor in India's $250 billion technology economy, yet public infrastructure has lagged. Metro extension. The KR Puram Silk Board line is under construction but years late. Arterial roads and flyovers. Few alternate east-west connectors exist to offload ORR. Public transport. BMTC buses struggle with reliability. Commuter rail links remain thin. Flood management. Recurring monsoon flooding forces lane closures and worsens jams. Without a coordinated state and central government response, every new IT park adds cars faster than roads or trains can absorb. Urban mobility planners argue that the ORR corridor should be treated as national economic infrastructure, not merely a city road. They urge this: fast tracking the metro and last mile feeder services, building arterial connectors to divert traffic away from the ring road, offering tax rebates for carpooling and world class timetabled bus services, considering airport helicopter shuttles and high capacity flyovers to handle peak flows. Sounds all nice. Seen from a macro lens, every kilometer of this 19-kilometer corridor earns India roughly $1 billion in foreign exchange each year. Few stretches of asphalt anywhere in the country are so directly tied to the GDP growth, investor confidence, and India's global tech brand. If this road chokes, India's digital exports choke with it. Siddaramaiah's letter to Wipro is both a plea for immediate relief and a sharp reminder to policymakers in Bengaluru and New Delhi. This is not just a local traffic nuisance. The ORR IT belt is a national economic artery, and its smooth functioning is a matter of strategic importance. Opening Wipro's gates might buy temporary breathing space, but the real test is whether governments can match the corridor's economic weight with infrastructure of equal ambition. Bengaluru's ORR from KR Puram to Silk Board, just 19 kilometers. I'm just running the numbers again. Hosts 500 plus IT companies, 9.5 lakh jobs, and 1.5 lakh crore rupees in annual IT exports. That's close to $1 billion in foreign exchange per kilometer every year. When this corridor stalls, a big slice of India's tech engine, well, slows. Joining us today is industry expert from the Greater Bengaluru IT Companies and Industries Association, GBITCIA. Welcome to the show, Diana Das. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing very well, and of course, hopefully, we'll all do a lot better after our discussion because, as I've just mentioned, this is genuinely a serious, serious choke point, no pun intended.
Agree. This is something which has been there for a very long time, and it's high time we find a solution to this.
Wonderful. So actually, let's dive in, ma'am. I actually wanted you to throw light on what GBIT CIA to our audience and tell us why this industry body has become the voice of Bengaluru's IT and tech landscape alongside its contributions and work in the recent past. Before we actually get into the nitty gritties of the letter and the way forward.
Okay. JBITCIA is a company where we work closely with all the government bodies across Karnataka, and we would love to take help from all the companies across Bangalore to help in various situations, various scenarios, and not just help or take the ownership to handle their problem and take it to the government and also ensure it is resolved. One of such is the traffic.
Hmm. Sure. And a big problem that is. So, well, my first question, ma'am. How serious is the productivity and economic loss that you see every day from the current traffic mess? How serious is that in terms of the
Okay.
numbers, in terms of probably the feedbacks that you've been getting, the conversations that you've been having? I would really, really like for you to go ahead and educate us all on that.
It is a very serious concern because the economy of uh, country or state is purely dependent on the end workers who work on ground.
Hmm.
So if we cannot take care of our own employees, if we cannot handle their basic need and their basic problems, it is definitely going to affect our economy. And if I'm not wrong, it's already affecting. For
Sure.
example, the productivity of a company is how healthy an employee is. Is our employees healthy to handle various situations that comes during their work hours?
Hmm.
To handle pressure, we all go through different pressures, right? It's not that this we can avoid. How can we handle that? How healthy is our lifestyle if one has to travel for about 90 minutes to 130 minutes on an average in a
Ma'am,
day?
most of times even more.
Yes, even more, I agree.
Yeah.
So how healthy an individual is he going to give his is he going to work for a longer period? Is his health is going to support? His
Sure.
family will support? Definitely no. The answer is no. So we are here to find that solution. So we have to find that solution. It's high time we find the solution now, because Bangalore is a place which has grown very fast in the last
Yes.
10 years. And for us to grow to this level, many of us have put in a lot of hard work, right? Why should we just let go by this
Mm,
problem of traffic?
yeah.
It is not a problem that we cannot handle. It is just that we have not handled. We will handle it now together. That's the aim of GBITCIA. We will handle it and we will have a solution to it.
Ma'am, at least there is a sense of honesty from the fact that what you said, that we have not been able to handle, but there is at least the sense of trying to handle it. Because what you said very rightly, and before actually I come to what Mr. Siddaramaiah says, I actually wanted to say this, that one is looking at a further expansion as far as Bengaluru is concerned, in terms of, let's say, the GCC ecosystem. Just to give you an example, it looks wonderful, it looks very encouraging, and of course the tier 2 cities as well. But all the time the general sentiment is, this is nice, this is sweet, in terms of people who are working in this ecosystem, but they always end up harking to the fact that, wait a minute, can we at least fix the roads, can we at least fix the potholes, can we at least get to work on time? So I think it's very, very important for us to go ahead and address that, and do it in a very urgent manner.
I agree on that. So it's like you said, it is an urgent need. This needs an urgency where we have to create more and more traffic marshals. We have to create more and more awareness on those bottleneck areas where the traffic piles up. Figure out what the problem there is, and not solve for one day, but for follow up process of how to handle that situation on these areas are more important, and on not just fix just for a day or a week or for a month. We need to find the permanent solutions. There are certain areas where we found the bottleneck, we resolved that issue, and we had a smooth traffic for a
Which
month. But
ones are
no,
those? I
we
mean,
need
at
to.
least one can pat one's back and say, okay, we've done it there. Now we can at least
Mhm.
definitely go ahead and address these. If you
See,
were
there are
alluding to a couple of
various.
points where you did manage to solve the problem.
See, if I take the entire stretch of Outer Ring Road, there
Hmm.
were many bottlenecks that were identified, starting from KR to Electronic City or
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
Silk Board.
Hmm.
Okay, that stretch is the IT belt. Okay, the
Hmm. Hmm.
entire IT world is in that area,
True. True.
and we have to handle that place. There's no second choice or there's no second thought about it. We have to push ourselves a little more harder to get that solution, which is not happening. That's where, while I did read the letter from our CM,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have also written to Wipro, and we are finding ways to get this sorted out. We will have to join hands with the government. We will have to support them. But coming back to the point where what CM is asking for, do we see that as a permanent solution?
No, he
In
himself
my
agrees that it's a temporary one. The CM actually says this, and I will just go ahead and
yes,
give context, ma'am. He's actually saying opening a controlled route through
hmm,
Wipro Sarjapur campus could
hmm.
actually cut jams by 30%. But my question is that realistic, and how quickly could it be implemented, albeit it being a short-term solution? He is also admitting that
See,
it's not a long-term one.
yes, he's admitting because he is aware. If the CM, especially like Mr. Siddaramaiah, who's one of the very veteran CMs, if he is
Sure.
writing a letter, he definitely knows. It's not that he does not know. He definitely knows that's an interim solution, not a permanent solution. He is aware. So, what is the permanent solution to that place? So, while we all know getting the place from Wipro, we will have to have policies and governing bodies around this, because we will have more such requests even in future. Okay,
Sure.
so our request would be to ensure that there are proper governing bodies and proper process and policies on this topic. And we, like GBITCIA, we are here to have such work done. between the government and the IT companies, IT or non-IT companies. That's where we come into picture. And
Diana, ma'am, I'm sorry, but immediately what comes to my mind, I mean,
mhm,
as a citizen, the first thing that actually pops up in my head when you talk about policies, you talk about planning for sure. But the first thing
mhm,
actually that comes to mind is, like you mentioned a little while back, that Bangalore has definitely grown leaps and bounds, and that's
mhm.
brilliant in the last 10 years. Do you feel that there has been somewhere a paralysis of planning in terms of the fact that yes, there are huge amount of fund which is flowing. There are lots of companies which are coming in, they want to set up. We have provided them with the talent, the infrastructure, etc. But the infrastructure, as far as planning is concerned, there is probably somewhere there is a huge yawning gap there. Do you feel that is something which needs to be identified in the near future?
I wouldn't say there was a paralysis because Bangalore is a place which has grown very very fast.
True.
Okay, we all accept that, right? While we accept it's gone very fast, we will also have to understand there's a lot of effort that goes behind handling situations when a place is developing very fast,
Hmm.
right? So we'll have to put in more efforts, is what I would say. We have done a great job. We have brought in so many metro lines in the past few years. I am a
Some of them
Bangalorean.
are
I'm a
very
proud
delayed, ma'am. I
Bangalorean.
mean, if I wish they would have come all the way they would have. So, for example, only three bogies are right now just traversing. If and they will always, obviously they will ramp up by next year alone. But yeah, I mean, you're right. At least there is some sort of a start. There is some sort of progress.
Yeah, some sort of progress. I definitely see there. It's not an easy place, especially where when Bangalore is, where everybody around the world would love to come and live here, right? I I I am a proud Bangalorean,
No,
so I have
absolutely.
seen how this place has grown. So for me, if you ask me, do you want to work in US? I would say no. I'm happy here. Or do you want to go to any other state? I
Hmm.
would say I'm happy here. And I have friends who have come up from outside Bangalore and they live here and they feel this is the most safest place. So thanks to our government who's making us feel safe every day. I'm sure we all can walk easily on the roads these days. We have many
If there is
good
space to
developments.
walk, ma'am, that is actually where the
Yes,
problem is.
yes. So that's where we have to fix.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. We'll have to fix that. So we haven't fixed it, or we did we fix it? Is not that we did not fix it or we made our efforts. I'm saying we'll have to push ourselves a little more harder, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so
It's not
before I
that
go to
we did.
Wipro, ma'am, before I
Hmm,
actually go to Wipro, beyond Wipro is what my question is. But before I go up to that, very quickly, I wanted to ask you, you say, of course, you as an organization have seen a very rapid growth. I do understand, maybe, yes, there have been challenges when that kind of pressure of growth comes in. Certain things tend to kind of obviously take the back seat, whatever it might be. But in terms of now, what have been probably your learnings as an organization, since you act as a wonderful conduit between the government and the tech companies? What are your learnings from the past mistakes that you would like to course correct?
Like I said in one of my statement,
Hmm.
we are trying to find a solution just for a day. So, for the example, if there's a festival, kind of put in more uh, um, traffic police. If there's a festival or if there is a long holiday, we kind of put more traffic marshals around bus stands or bus stations or train stations. Why
Hmm.
not do that on a daily basis?
Hmm. Hmm.
Correct?
Okay.
Why not we do? So, for example, if we have like 1,000 people on a festival weekend on a bus station,
Hmm.
they are the same 1,000 people who are at the on road every day, right? Why
Hmm.
not we fix that? So, put in more traffic marshals, put in more um, take more traffic marshals from the IT companies. The IT
Hmm.
companies can come forward to put in more on-road traffic marshals. Like, let's bring in an association between traffic, the IT companies, non-IT, and IT, and the government, the traffic police department, the Bangalore Traffic Police Department. and
Mm-hmm.
IT and non-IT companies, let them come together. And we will we will help, Jibitsia will help them form an association and we will get the solution. We'll work
Okay.
together, is what I'm saying.
Okay. Diana ma'am, would you like to maybe tell us about or shed light on the fact that is there any exclusive project apart from this one, of course, which requires all our attention, future projects and any exclusives that Jibitsia is working on? Like, for example, you just mentioned a wonderful little marriage that could take place between marshals, or, for example, the overall authorities and the tech companies, and you will be able to facilitate that. Anything that
Correct.
is a particular exclusive project that you're working on in the future, which you might be able to go ahead and educate us on?
Okay, so there are a couple of more projects that we are working on, but they all are in a very initial phases for us to
Okay.
discuss or talk about it. At this point in time, seems to be a bit too early for me. But
Hmm.
definitely, as and when we have some information, we will definitely share with you all because we work in hand, right? What we do
Sure.
is what you help us develop that or create that. Awareness among people. So we will definitely share it with you all so you can take it further.
Ma'am,
But at this point in
we
time,
want to spread that awareness with a big smile that the problem in ORR has been solved. Trust me, I will do a backflip with glee if that problem is
I
solved.
am
Trust me.
very positive about that. I'm very, very positive about that. I'm sure the way Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. D.K. Shivkumar is working at this moment for this one particular stretch is commendable. So we will definitely work along on the same path with them, and we will take this to the next level. I'm sure we will have a conversation very soon where these things are resolved, and we will have a conversation of what next.
Okay. So, well, apart beyond Wipro, for example, what quick fixes in the next 1 to 2 months? Let's say signal changes, bus priority, carpool incentives. We had mentioned that. Do you think that those would make the biggest difference, or do you have something else in mind?
I wouldn't say any of this would make any major differences because
No,
we
that's
do have
depressing.
yes, we it wouldn't it might like opening up the road for what Mr. Siddaramaiah has asked the Wipro. Even if Wipro gives, we are very thin line chances of having it 100% resolved, right? We are aware of that. It's the
Hmm.
same thing. If you add more buses or if you add more traffic marshals, if you had more traffic police on the road, it is not going to solve the problem. What's going to solve the problem is our metro line, especially on the outer ring
Okay.
road.
Okay.
So the metro line has to go on a fast track. Uh, for example, you mentioned to me just a while ago on the yellow
Hmm.
line that we have only
Hmm.
6 bogies and
Yes.
we are short of. Why? Because the usage is so high and people are finding it convenient. Hence, what
Agreed.
will happen with outer ring road?
There is still only a 25-minute wait that people are enduring right now. Obviously, if the
Which is
bogies in
still
numbers go
fine.
up, which is still fine, but
Which
as
is
they
still
go up,
fine.
yeah,
Yes, people are still okay. They will go sit there, chit chat. I myself have traveled in that place and I did experience, I did talk to a couple of them to understand how they feel. They're still happy. They have found
sure,
new friends. They're chit chatting because they know now I need to wait for 25 minutes. They're planning their day very well. But
right.
instead of they spending 25 minutes on traffic without any plan, though you plan, you still end up on 25 minutes on traffic, which you are unplanned because you never know
And the
what's
trauma,
going to
of course,
happen,
correct. Yeah,
and the
that's true.
trauma and the
Yeah,
nausea sitting inside a car or
and the
sitting
losing
inside
of
the
hair.
bus.
Yeah,
Yes, but this is much better. I have met people, they are still they're saying it's okay, I'm sure government will handle. They have that faith, they have that faith
so
in the
there is that
government.
faith
So
still, but I mean, this is, of course, ma'am, what your perspective says. A lot of people I ended up having a conversation, or generally speaking, a lot of people are unfortunately feeling the pain. They feel that maybe their voices are not being heard. Yes, there is a lot of growth, yes, there is a lot of development, which they're all happy about, but I
yes,
think this is something which is so ingrained and so traumatic and so scarring that they're not being able to see the beautiful horizons that probably the
correct.
government is trying to bring in terms of the development? Because this to them, they feel that this is fixable. If the government can do that, then you know what? This can be easily fixed. Why a delay in the metro line? Why not going ahead and having the number of
That's
bogies
that's
that are required?
that's my
Things like that.
question. So I'm sure government is hearing people's voice. I'm sure they are working towards it. We will shortly see more bogies added to the yellow line. But the same way, we should push ourselves and get the ORR metro line running fast. So if you add more buses, if you add more traffic marshals, if you add more traffic police, it's not going to give you a permanent solution. What's going to give you a permanent solution is the metro line. So while we plan metro line to be fastened, ensure there are sufficient number of runs and ensure there's sufficient number of bogies that's added to help people move quickly and faster. Trust me, the day metro line is opened on ORR, you and I will not be talking about this topic.
Okay. Ma'am, finally, I would like for you to tell us, as somebody who is obviously hearing the voice of the government, and is also understanding and coordinating with the tech companies, the big ones. What would you like to say to the people of Bengaluru? As far as this is, of course, a huge choke point, it's a huge jam, but you would need, I would really like for you to tell us in terms of how we need to make sure that we need to keep our faith alive. We need to make sure that this is happening. Of course, the CM has written a letter, which is an initiative, but it's only for the short term.
Okay. So do raise your voice. JBITCIA does have its own website. We do have our own Insta. We do have our own LinkedIn portals. Do reach out to us. Share us your concerns. Share us your opinions. Share us your thoughts. How we can develop together. We can definitely work together and get the solution for what we want. And when I say we, it's all of us. I'm not saying JBITCIA alone. It's all of us. What we want. So together we can work, raise your concerns, raise your voice, talk to the right officials. If you see there's a major concern, reach out to the traffic marshal, reach out to the traffic police. Each company will have traffic wardens within the company. Reach out to them, so talk to them. The way you talk, the way you raise your concern will help this place a better place.
Okay. So, well, thank you, Diana ma'am, and we wish you all the best. And
Thank
your
you.
final remarks as far as this is concerned, when do you see the at least the ORR problem in the short term being sorted? And you, of course, have mentioned very categorically that the long term solution is the metro line.
It is the metro line.
Okay. And when do you see this issue being sorted? Do you believe that all of the tech companies that you're in conversation with, and as the CM, Mr. Siddaramaiah, has already written to Wipro, but maybe a lot more, do you feel them all coming together in a cohesive effort to solve the bane of ORR?
We have to, is what I'm saying. We have
Have to,
to, we
yes,
have
but do
to
you
solve.
feel it'll be
So
happening?
it will happen because it's not just the government problem, right? It is your own employees problem as well. So if we want the government to solve, we have to work with the government.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us on the show. And we sure hope that these issues are sorted. And we, of course, the next time we meet, we should be celebrating the fact that there
Yes,
is another project which
yes,
has taken place and the roads are
yes,
decongested and we are no longer in a jam, so to say.
yes,
Well,
we will.
Bengaluru's ORR, in conclusion, is actually supposed to be India's fast lane to the future. But most days, it feels more like the world's costliest parking lot. Until this tech corridor, the only thing moving fast here will be the economic losses. Well, with that, it's good night from Front Page on AIM Network, India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and tech. Front Page is powered by MachineCon 2025, invite only residential summit for GCC heads, exclusively brought to you by AIM Network. And of course, till we meet again, you know what to do. Think AI, think AIM.